Again, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And we call it Experts Talk About Finance and Funding. My name is Phil, and I am one of Chicago DealVault support people or person. So Hugo was out of the country and should be back end of this month. So I'm taking over as the host for tonight. And as what I mentioned a while back, unfortunately, Brandon Malton sent us a message he wouldn't be able to join as well due to a family emergency. So I'm honored to introduce our guest speaker for tonight. So our guest speaker is one of Brandon Malton's um, team. So she is also a member of the um, as well a member of of One West team, which is Homebridge Financial Services. So allow me to introduce to you our guest speaker for tonight, Ms. Karen Siska. Karen, I'm taking up. You can take over the floor now.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks so much for joining. So, and I want to apologize if he wasn't able to make it. So I am a member of his team. Many of you I probably have seen at other DealVault events and also at the Chicago RIA. At Homebridge, as many of you may or may not know, we are an independent mortgage lender. So we have unique products that enable us to help investors to build up their portfolios and to build them up quickly. And one of the products that we have that's geared just to investors is called our Investor Cash Flow Loan. And it's a great loan to start with if somebody is in the position where they have had a rental property in the past and can show one lease that they've had that rental. And what we're looking at is we are looking at your credit score to make sure that you have decent credit. And then we're also looking at the flow of the property. So in doing so, we are not looking at your tax returns. We are not looking at any of your other income or losses on your property, which is key because, as we know, a lot of us write off anything that we can in order to, not pay the taxes on it. So with the Investor Cash Flow Loan, if you have credit that's over 680, then what we look for is 20% down. And then why that's important is when you guys are buying the properties and why Renovo and so many of the commercial lenders are key allies of ours is because we know that down the line, you're going to run out of funds unless you're recycling it and using the BRRRR method to purchase properties. And as everyone is taught, we want you guys to buy them and look at using 70% of the after repaired market value, subtracting out the amount of your renovations. And the reason we ask you to follow that formula is because when you start on the commercial side and then refinance with a loan like our Investor Cash Flow Loan, then we are able to recycle your capital back out and do that cash out refinance. And that way we're able to help you grow that portfolio. The loan can be done in your personal name. It can also be done in an LLC. It needs to be a single property LLC, but it can be done in the LLC. It is personally backed by you, so it will show up in your list of debts moving forward. With this loan, you can have up to 15 loans in your personal name. And it is for loans with an amount up to $2.5 million, as long as it is a residential property, so a 4-unit. So with this product, it's great for recycling that capital to be able to then go out and buy your next property, and then buy it either with private money, buying it with the commercial loan, and then refinancing it. There is not a restriction as far as states. We are licensed in every state. If someone on our team can't help you, we do have people within the company that can help. So you're not limited to a small area if you are also investing in a different state. The application process is pretty simple. I can give you guys a link to a website. You fill out the application and just let me know that you're looking at doing the investor loan. And then from there, we do issue you the pre-approval based on the market rent. The property does not need to be rented when we are doing a purchase. If we are doing a refinance, then I need a copy of your lease. If the rent that you're collecting is higher than the market rent that the appraiser uses, as long as I can show that you have documented rental income, I can make a I'll send everyone the link for the website in a minute. I can use your rent for your lease as long as it's in line with the rent for the area. So I can't have an appraiser tell me the rent is $900 and then you show me a lease for $2,200. I can't really make a case for that. But if the rent in the area is $2,200 and you're getting $2,400 because they're having a garage or some extra parking, I can make a case for that. So my website is mylenderkaren.com, and from there you guys can fill out the application, and we will work with the commercial lenders and private lenders to make sure your loan is structured correctly to start with when you purchase the property if you're not starting with us. And when you're getting private money to do any purchases plus renovation, please keep in mind that we need the person that lent you the money to issue you a mortgage and a note, and I also need to see it on the settlement statement because I'm going to use those figures to then order a payoff and for the terms of that mortgage and note. So if the mortgage and note from your private lender says that you're paying 15% interest on these terms, I need to see that. If it shows that you're not making any payments for the first year and there's no interest, I need to see that. Whatever that mortgage and note from your private lender says, we're going to make sure that you are held to it. If it says that you were supposed to pay interest and you didn't, your payoff will include you paying interest. So we want to make sure that everything is in line when we go ahead and get this paperwork done. With the properties themselves, you can go up to a 4-unit. And we are looking at that the properties are in fact rented or refinancing. So that's key. Make sure that they do have valid leases in place and we can show security deposit. With the investor cash flow loan, they do require reserves. So what we're looking for is that you have the 20% equity. We're looking to make sure that you have at least 6 months of payments in the bank. And we're also looking that you have 2 months of reserves for any properties that are in your personal name. Now, it doesn't have to be liquid funds. It can be in the stock market, no cryptocurrency. We can use a portion of what's in the stock market. Now, does anyone have any particular questions on this loan that I can answer? If you can unmute yourself. So closing time for this loan typically takes about 30 days, as long as you can supply me with your lease and your bank statements to show that you have the reserves. The longest process, somebody just asked if the refi cost includes 20% out of pocket. It doesn't, because ideally you're going to purchase the property correctly, and once you buy it and renovate it, then you're already going to have that equity in the property, and we're going to be able to then refinance it using your new ARV based on those repairs. But that's a really good question. So we do have an independent appraisal that is done to ensure that the repairs did lift the value. Keep in mind, if you buy a house and you simply paint the cabinets and paint the walls, that may not give you enough of a lift when it comes to value. You really want to look at renovating a kitchen, finishing a basement, add some value somewhere. So that way we can make sure that you are able to get that capital back out. Interest rates, nobody's asked how much the rates are. Interest rates for this program are definitely favorable. They're less than a commercial loan. It is a 30-year fixed loan. And if you're buying in Illinois, there is no prepayment penalty on this loan. So you can pay discount points and get the rate lower if you choose to. I had a client today that in his best interest, he did not want to pay points and was fine paying a little bit higher interest. So it really depends on you and what you're looking to do. With the location, it could be anywhere in Illinois. We always have quite a few people that ask if we limit certain sections of the city. We don't. It's open to anyone throughout the whole state. We do have to show that you have had rental history in the past. So if you had a lease from 5 years ago for a property that you owned, that's perfectly acceptable. If you are a brand new investor and you want to buy your very first property using this product and you want to purchase it and put 20% down, then what we can do is ask, for approval to get around that requirement. And like I said, the application process usually takes about 15 minutes to fill out, and then I will gather all the documents from you from that point forward. If you're thinking about investing in the future and need help with analyzing your credit, we do help you to analyze your credit, give you tips for building it and improving it if that's something that you need. If you're just starting out and thinking, okay, I don't know where to start, we can have a conversation. My cell phone number, if anybody wants to give me a call, is 708-945-0221. And before I turn it back over to Phil, does anyone have anything? No, we are not doing a soft pull. We do a full tri-merged report. Somebody asked if we do a soft pull. And we do use that same credit report for 120 days. Yes, so somebody asked about financing a multifamily. If you are in a position where you do not own a multifamily and you want to purchase a multifamily to live in, we can look at doing a renovation loan for an owner-occupied multifamily up to 4 units with an FHA loan. If you're looking to buy an investment property that's a multifamily for 4 units, yes, you can use this loan to purchase it, or you can purchase it with the commercial loan and then rehab it and then refinance it with this program. Anything else that if anyone has any questions, my website is my lender, Karen. And my email address is on there, and you can reach out to me and ask questions from my website also.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
This is Sam. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How your interest rate compares to outside market for the investment?
For this product, I priced somebody today, and they were in the low 4s. So it just depends again on your credit and the loan amount of the property. So the lower the loan amount, the rate's going to be a little bit higher. The higher the price point. Minimum loan amount for this loan is $100,000.
Okay, I am a real estate broker. I have a client that's trying to buy the first rental investment, and she has $100,000 cash. I was thinking that to make it half and half, put $50,000 into property. She has a good credit and good job. Would that be possible?
Sure. Yeah, it is possible. So it can have her give me a call, or you give me a call tomorrow, and we can go over options for that. Yes.
Sounds good. And I'm looking to buy my first property also.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Reach out
you will be a good help.
So I can, Sam, I can definitely help you and go over the parameters. And then as far as the credit score that is required, somebody had just asked that. The minimum credit score for this loan is 620. However, you will need 65% down. At 660, 75% down.
Uh-huh.
680 is 80%.
Okay, that's good. That makes sense. I used to be a loan officer also about 10 years ago. So
Oh, okay.
I am a little familiar with the financing parameter.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. I will look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Great, thank you. And I'm posting my phone number on and my website on the chat so everybody can get it if for some reason you weren't able to hear it.
Thank you. You were the person I was looking for a long time.
Great, we're happy to help. And Brian, you had asked about collections. So it depends on what the collections are. We're not using a debt to income ratio to establish a typical income. So if the collections are federal in nature, we need to talk about that and we can take a look at it. You have to have on-time mortgage payments on any properties that you have. You can have a 1 times 30, but anything after that, we will have to wait and just make sure that you are getting your finances in line when it comes to mortgages.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Michelle.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Karen, I'm interested in what you were saying about purchasing a multi-family. What would be my down payment? I already have a one rental property. It's
Okay.
but a single family house.
Okay, and were you thinking of moving into the multifamily?
No, just strictly investment.
Just strictly investment. Okay, so if you're looking at just a strictly investment, it goes along with the amounts that I gave earlier. So as long as you have a 680 credit score, then we're looking at 20%. And then if, for Sam, anyone that has, if you're a realtor and you have a client that's thinking about getting into investing, you can purchase a multifamily with as little as 3.5% down if you are going to live in the property.
Okay, now I would need a pre-approval letter to put in an offer on the property that I'm looking at. Is that something
Yes.
I can obtain from you as well?
Yes, it is. And you can give me a call and I can take the application over the phone, or you can fill it out on my website and we can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Karen, one more question. This is Sam.
Sure.
My client that I told you about, she has good credit, good job, but she's LTV is not, she makes enough money to pay the current mortgage and the credit card debts and the car payment. Would that affect when she's planning to buy an investment property? Do you care about the debt income ratio?
That's a great question. So if we are using a traditional conventional loan for her to purchase this new multifamily or single family property, then what we're looking at is her income and her debts. And we are going to use 75% of the projected rent for what she is buying. So as long as the property she's buying is cash flowing, then typically that scenario would work because it would not increase her debt to income ratio because we are using that rent to offset the debt.
Okay, so you prefer I find a 3-flat, 3-unit for her with a tenant in it already, so it has the income.
Right, and you don't necessarily need the tenant in it. If we're looking at a conventional loan, we can use market area rent. And same with the investor cash flow loan. If you're purchasing it, we will use market area rent. The only time we need the leases is when we're refinancing it.
Okay, great. That makes sense. Thanks again.
No problem. Anyone else have any questions? Well, at this point, I'll turn it over to Phil. Reach out if you do come across something. I do work every day, so if you need something on the weekends, you need a pre-approval weekends or nights, let me know, and I can reach back out to everybody, okay?
All right. Thank you so much, Karen, for the information and for giving idea to our members about getting loans and where to get them, especially with the requirements. It's good that we have someone like you who can give us a lot of information about what is needed. So yeah, thank you so much for your presentation. And friends, we are honored to have our one of Chicago DealVault's partner as well. He is a private lender. Allow me to introduce to you, Dr. Syed Ali. Dr. Syed, I believe you're on the line.
Hello. Hi, Phil. How are you?
Thank you so much for attending tonight,
Sure.
Dr.
My
Syed.
meeting got canceled. I'm sorry I was not able to commit earlier, but since I'm available now, I chose to join you folks. So let me know what I can do for you.
All right, perfect. I'm giving the floor to you now, Dr. Syed.
So do you want me to review how I work as a private money lender?
Yes, sure, you can do so.
So basically, first of all, my gurus are Andrew Holmes and Rahul Visal from Mastery. And I joined this organization in 2019. And since then, I have been lending as a private money lender. So basically, I'm lending to individuals who are in this group called Mastery. And typically, when somebody approaches me for lending for a private money loan, the relationship becomes very critical and important. I need to know who my borrower is. So I typically suggest that maybe we should connect with each other even before they go for a project or commit to a project, put a contract on a project. And then subsequently, given the fact that we have developed some type of an introductory relationship, I know what they're about, and I have explained to them how I operate, then it becomes a lot more smoother when they sign up a purchase contract. Having said that, it is also important to keep in mind that a private money lender like myself is not like a bank. We don't have unlimited funds. So from time to time, we do run out of funds, and then in that case, I refer to other private money lenders to assist my borrower. But when they approach me, we typically require doing a complete due diligence. So the due diligence involves my going over the property, my going over the figures. Are the numbers making sense? Do they have an exit strategy? Do they have a plan in place? How are they going to do the rehab, if it's going to be a cash flow or even if it's a flip? The purchase price plus the rehab cost, is that uh, agreeing? Does that make sense when they are going to be flipping it or when they are going to be doing a cash flow? So typically, in refinancing for cash flows, the banks typically like to lend something like about 75% on the ARV, on the after renovation value. So within that 75%, I hope to recoup back my loan. Similarly, in a flip, we have like 70% of that we look at. So those are the types of things that we really have to look at. The terms that we use typically is 2% as a loan origination fee or 2 points. And then it's 12%. The loan is typically about 4 to 6 months in duration. And the documents typically involve the mortgage and the promissory note, guarantee if it's an LLC, those types of things. And the loan typically is given out from my IRA that I lend out from. So and I'll be happy to answer any questions, but there's in a nutshell, basically how I proceed with it. I also want to go through the property, like a walkthrough. I like to get a home inspection if I can, with a printed report of the home inspection. We also need commitment for title insurance prior to the closing of the property, because often at times you see in a title commitment for title insurance that there is something wrong with the title, which we call a cloud on the title, you see. And so on one of the loans that I was trying to give out almost about a year ago, when we did the commitment of title insurance, this was like a wholesale where the wholesaler was selling to the borrower. And when I did the commitment for title insurance, it came up with about the loan was about 87,000, something like that. But the commitment for title insurance showed almost like a $15,000 worth of liens on the property. And the liens go with the land, they go with the property, they don't go with the seller. So when the property is being conveyed to the new buyer will be acquiring $15,000 worth of debt already, which the property is bringing to the new buyer, you see. So and the seller actually did not know that. The wholesaler did not know that. The actual seller from whom the wholesaler bought the property from did not know that either. Apparently, they had not done the title search at that time, so it was a very rushed kind of situation. So that is basically, from my perspective as a lender, we look at all of these facets. Also, for example, Freedom of Information Act, which is the FOIA, that we encourage our borrowers to get, which is completely free, that they can get all this information. And then, of course, how they plan to do the rehab project and all that type of thing. I hope I've covered, in a short period of time, the gist of how we, or at least how I do my lending as a private money lender. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. So do I lend to auction buyers? There's a question on the chat line. It all depends upon, typically we do not lend unless they've got the property contract, purchase contract in place. Then I would be lending, because we have to also take into consideration the risks we are running into, you see. So I do not know what type of an auction property one is going to get. And if they are getting it in auction, but then how do I know they don't have any problems with their title? And things like that. I do not know what type of home inspection has been done. So from my perspective, when I'm putting the money out, I need to have some security also. So that is a concerning issue regarding auction properties. Perhaps other private money lenders may think differently, but that's basically my take on it. Phil, I hope I've not silenced everybody, and if there is any other question, I'll be happy to look into the chat line here and see if, okay.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Said.
No, I think I've covered basically what I wanted to convey. If there is any other
Okay.
question, I'll be happy to answer that.
Oh, I believe Michelle has a question.
Okay.
As well as with Eric, he has a question. You say you reach out to you before buying a property.
Yeah, but first of all, I'm lending within Mastery. So
Okay.
I'm not lending to people outside of Mastery. It's an organization that I belong to. So if there are people over here who are belonging to Mastery, then of course, I would be more than happy to have them reach out to me.
All right. For our attendees, do you have any other questions for Dr. Ali? Yeah, we have a question from Marie. It says, do you lend to DealVault team?
Well, as long as the member of DealVault is belonging to Mastery, which is
Right.
Andrew Holmes' program. And that is partly because of the fact that we have quite a number of members in Mastery, and my funds are limited. So, and Mastery has certain guidelines that we follow, you see. So there's automatically an understanding that there'll be a significant amount of due diligence done by my borrower. There are standards that my borrower will need to be meeting. And so that is the reason why that I have this policy.
All right, sounds good. So also, Michelle had a question. Is there any areas you prefer to lend in?
Well, the areas, not particular. I mean, I don't have any particular preference for areas. The areas range from anywhere from all over Chicago, and including the northern part of Indiana, where I can go to and I can check out the properties. So that's basically where I have lent over the years.
Okay, perfect.
Sure.
The rest, do we have any other questions for Dr. Ali?
Thank you. So all of you have a wonderful evening and all the best in your in your real estate investments. Thank you so much for having me over, Phil. I appreciate it.
Thank you as well, Dr. Ali. By the way, if they want to reach out to you for those who are part of Mastery.
I'll put down I'll put down my contact information.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, Dr. Ali is uh, 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 posting his information on how to reach out to him. I'm inviting you to attend to our 3-day, our group for the Chicago Deal Vault. We have cash flow inner circle as well as with wholesale inner circle. So Hugo is doing classes every week for cash flow inner circle and wholesale inner circle. It's an exclusive training and mentoring program that Hugo has developed, specializing for cash flow and wholesale. So if you want to attend for one meeting, you can send an email to support@chicagodealvault.com for us to be able to send you a link to attend this coming Sunday at 1 p.m. That will be hosted by Hugo himself. Also, we would like you to avail a 30-day free trial for Chicago Deal Vault. On your screen is Chicago Deal Vault portal. We provide you MLS properties, off-market properties. We categorize into different categories. We have a list of private lenders, cash buyers, shadow inventory lease that we receive weekly, coming directly from our partners from the bank. And they provide us with those leads, and we refresh the leads weekly. So you can also get an access from the back door to our bank partners to be able to negotiate with the price of the bank properties. Aside from that, we have all of these available tabs that you can use and utilize. This is how the property looks like whenever you open a property. You have all the information that you need here. You can do analysis. You can search for the comps. You can generate the ARV. You can generate a report about your property and approval letter, as well as with a document for making an offer. So this comes with a free trial. Um, just send us just fill up the application as well as with the link that I have provided in chat for you to be able to avail the free trial. If not, you can send an email to support@chicagodealvault.com. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Ali, for attending tonight's presentation and webinar. I'm glad that you were able to attend and you were able to provide information about how you started with private lending, as well as with how you are able to help our members, and especially with the members of the Mastery program by Andrew Holmes. So everyone, I would like to thank you for attending tonight's webinar, and see you on our next webinar. So Hugo will be, I believe Hugo will be hosting the next webinar. And again, thank you everyone, and have a good night. Dr. Saeed, thank you so much.